RuneScape's new player avatar is now available through a beta test. You can try it out yourself. Alongside this, rich players get something new to play with. Random Jagex moderator comments this week is Zamorak and Musket apparently are not giving combat experience at the moment. Mudsponge is aware of it, but it's not a very high priority to fix at the moment. So I guess if you're missing out on your combat experience while killing these bosses, then you know why. Also, if you weren't aware, Double XP is currently live on RuneScape this week, where players get a total of 48 in-game hours of double experience. And for additional patches this week, the Elite Dracolith armor and Roar of Awakening and Ode of Deceit weapons can now be dyed using dyes from clue scrolls. That's right, if you've got 5 billion to 50 billion coins just laying around, you can also look like this, ranging from 3rd Age Dracolith to Soul Dracolith, Shadow Dracolith, Ice Dracolith, Blood Dracolith, Barrows Dracolith, and Aurora Dracolith. Same applies to the weapons, the Wand and Orb. Barrows, Blood, Soul, Ice and Aurora do look very similar in this one. Shadow and 3rd Age. I mean, look at these one-time use dye prices. But hey, if you've got money to burn, then, you know, this exists now. And maybe I'm too poor to be excited about this, but, you know, if you've got lots of money, then I guess you've got some new toys here. This week, they've also updated the way melee interacts with moving targets, stating sometimes the character would chase the target longer than expected. Your character now seems to run on top of the tile that the monster's on, rather than stopping the tile next to it, and this seems to get you close enough to be able to do ability combat. That was bothering a lot of players though, so I'm happy to see that's been fixed. Certain NPCs are able to use abilities during combat because they have adrenaline, and this was not draining properly, meaning that these NPCs were using ultimate attacks they shouldn't have access to. That has been fixed. They should no longer be using ultimate attacks, just their threshold abilities. Chaos Demons during Zamorak, I believe, no longer cleared the Entangle skill, so they will be bound now. This does not affect Telos, however, as Telos uses Freedom to break binds. There was a bug where Kalphite King was able to proc Immortality multiple times. They have re-added the ability to move the in-game clock as its own interface element now. You can still turn it on and off inside of the settings menu. If you head into settings and gameplay, you can go into interfaces, and then game clock is at the bottom here. On the top, you have the visibility options of it. Here you can either have it off, you can have it at the minimap, free and opaque, which has moved it up to the top here, or free and transparent if you want the background of it to be see-through. Once you have it on and you want to move it around, if you have your interface unlocked, you're able to drag it around as you would like to. It's also been added back into the layout mode editing. If you click escape and go into edit layout mode, in miscellaneous, you'll now find the clock once again, which you can move around. And there was a hole in the Ratcatcher quest that was blocked after the updates in Varrock. I believe that has been unblocked and is visible again. The featured artwork of this week is Beautiful Football's dad has painted this, as well as Snowy Rune's animated Archglacior pixel art. Patchy Sneecell has also made a really cool animatic of Karapak's entire backstory. It's essentially timing sketches. It's usually used for animation placeholders when you're timing the scenes to different music. Of course, they've added music to it. I'm not going to include that, but I thought that was really cool to watch through this. A lot of good patches this week. People are happy. 96% upvotes. Melee fix is huge. People are happy they can move the clock again. Seen a handful of comments by people saying it's unfair that the ranged Dracolith armor got recolors through dyes before the Vestment outfit, which is the melee outfit, even though Vestments came out before Dracolith. We've got memes like this going around, Necro and range fashion. I don't know why Necro is up there. I guess it's because you can dye a lot of the Necro armor. The Necro armor doesn't look that great anyway. The melee fashion's in the dump. Probably because Draco is cooler, but yeah. A bug has presumably arisen due to the update to melee close range combat, where if you now surge or dive or escape, it seems like your character will start running towards the target again right after the surge is performed. Seems like the character is now very aggressive and is just going in head first, rather than your actions being cancelled upon diving and surging and escaping. A few mods have said that they're going to be looking into it though, so can we not have to wait at least 2 years to be able to dye the Tumikin's light? Not a lot of people like that opinion. It does feel like them adding these dyes has made people who like the other armor sets unhappy because they didn't get their items and dyes. Like, oh yeah, Jagex added some dyes, but they didn't add the right ones, so I'm still annoyed kind of thing. RuneScape players are never happy and are always complaining about the least important BS. Yeah, this is a rich person problem that I'm too poor to understand, really. I get that some people like their dyes, but I couldn't care less, to be honest. I think they're cool to look at. Like, the ice dye armor is neat, but I'm never gonna have it. You know, I don't have 50 billion coins laying around that I'm willing to burn on something like that. This person's saying that the helmet here doesn't look icy enough. The wand also doesn't look icy enough. I guess I could kind of agree with the wand not looking very icy. It doesn't, the colors are changed, but it doesn't look like there's ice on it, you know? I guess that's the idea behind ice dye. It's supposed to look frozen. I think the helmet looks all right, but I do agree that the wand doesn't look very icy. Yo, here's another one. I'm not rich enough for dyes, but holy shit, Dracolith armor dye looked pretty sick. I wish the dyes worked more like in Guild Wars 2, where you just have a massive library of colors, and you can use the dyes to unlock the colors, and once you've unlocked the color, you can just add the color to whatever you want. That's the only way I'm ever gonna end up using dyes. When's Tumakin's light being dyeable? When we catch our breath from the goalpost being moved the moment we reach it. I mean, realistically, the goalpost is when they've made all the items that are supposed to be dyeable, right? Made some solid progress though with this update. I'd say the problem with dyes mostly is that they take a little bit too long to make for how many people use them. I am not convinced that many people use dyes. Someone says that the masterwork items should be dyeable. I don't think masterwork will ever be dyeable. There's a whole discussion here between Mod Anvil and a whole bunch of people because of his goalpost comment. It does sound like dyeable items currently are being done through game jams rather than having proper development time for release. Said that the reason he made that comment was because nobody was really talking about the dyes that had come out. He was just seeing comments about the things that hadn't been added yet. No one had actually had time to go in-game and actually check out the new dyes yet before people were saying, why have we not added this dye yet? So he says, if people do not react to the change itself you've made, but only focus on what the change isn't doing, then was the change worthwhile? Should we have bothered, or should we just allocate development time to something else? And that's sort of my point with dyes. I'm not convinced that enough people use dyes to justify how much time it takes to make them. I think there's a loud minority of people that use dyes and really love dyes, and I could be wrong. That's fine. I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm just saying that's how it feels like to me. There's a loud small group of people that really love dyes. I think if people love dyes as much as it feels like they're supposed to do, then there would be far more people running around with dyes in game. Mod Anvil feels like they released the dye update and then everyone was like, now do this one. Like they didn't say if they liked it or not. And now do this, and now do that, and now do this, but there's no reaction to what they're actually doing. Oh yeah, I really liked that about this one, and I didn't like that about that one. So they actually know what's working and what's not working, but it was just like, no, do this one next. When is this one coming out? In 2 years? I can see why he would say something like he did. I demand all items be dyeable right now. Oh good, more dyed items, but you haven't done everything yet. Chop chop, Jagex. I think that's how he felt. Anyway, let's move on to the Player Avatar beta that is now accessible and ready for you to jump into. Here we got some of the characters lined up here. They say that RuneScape's been around for 25 years, and to be honest, the Player Avatar has gone through a lot over those years. So today they're giving us a sneak peek at what's coming up later in the month when this officially launches. Here we got some more previews, but we're going to be jumping into the game itself to have a look. There's currently temporary alternative worlds with the work in progress Avatar beta. Now, keep in mind that this is a beta, this is not finished yet. They're mainly featuring very specific things here. Not everything is in the beta as well, but that doesn't mean they're deleting things. It just wasn't ready for the beta build. They say as it is a beta, you can expect that there's going to be a few bugs and unfinished placeholders and things that aren't necessarily looking right. Maybe some pieces are floating above your head. Not everything's going to be perfect yet. And this beta is kicking off from the 6th of May and will be running for a week until the 12th of May before the test servers get removed again. So you've got about a week to jump in and try this out if you want to. To join the beta, you need to go into this news post, which I will link in this video description. And you can click this link here, which will open up the Jagex launcher in a beta mode and launch RuneScape's beta servers. I've had some issues doing this myself. It doesn't work on one of my computers. I really don't like how they do betas in RuneScape. This link, for example, if I spam click it, like nothing happens. Like just, there's nothing. I know why it doesn't work. I've fixed it on a different computer, but I'm just saying that it's annoying that I can't just log into a beta world. I have to go through some external link on the website. Old school RuneScape has a way better system of doing betas where you can simply log in to a world in the server list itself. There's also a link if you're not using the Jagex launcher. Coincidentally, this link also doesn't work for me on this computer, so you know, it's kind of frustrating. When you're logged into the beta, you will have a save file of your character be added to the area, but you can also keep re-importing it every hour if you want to. There is a 60-minute cooldown though upon importing your character. And then to get back into the main game again out of the beta servers, you just close that instance of RuneScape on your computer and relaunch it from the client. Once you're in the beta, you will be teleported to the Square of Wendelwick. There will be a whole army of new player avatars standing around. The makeover mage that converts your gender and Thessalia to edit your base outfit will be standing there. If you interact with the man in the middle as well, you can do a survey about the player avatar and leave your feedback that way for Jagex. In this beta, you will have access to the following. Male and female new avatars are included. All base clothing that the avatar project will launch with is included in the beta. Some animations may still be a little bit off though. 34 female hairstyles are included, but they want to draw attention to 10 hairstyles, those ones being these ones here. These are apparently 10 commonly used hairstyles. And then while 29 male hairstyles are included, they also would like to focus on these 10 right here. 19 beards are also available in the beta for men, but these are not completely finalized either. They say run around, test out your outfits and see what feels right and what doesn't. And then yeah, interact with the guy on the box in the middle to do the quick survey about the update. There's also a list of known issues, so we can have a look at that. Sometimes hats and headwear can cause the old avatar head to be replaced into the new one. Eyebrows and eyes seem to be misshapen or positioned incorrectly with some walk animations. Torso and feet go invisible sometimes. Legs can become misshapen or bend backwards. Some outfits have gaps in them. Position issues where the torso and legs are disconnected. Hair sometimes floats away or is not aligned properly on your head. Neck position can be incorrect sometimes. The torso sometimes floats down to the player's knees. Hair may clip with avatar's head. Some hairstyles are currently untextured or flat. Some hairstyles stretch weird when the player moves. Some worn items clip through the head. Some hats and tiaras force the old head model on top of the new one. And facial hair is sometimes broken on males. Worn items and cosmetic overrides that show skin on the avatar will show the old skin rather than the new one. Some head slot items will cause animation clipping issues. The appearance in the character interface may not always look correct. The texture on hairstyles is not finalized. And while using FreeCam, there may be some flickering on hair and outfits. In the Avatar beta, we can start by checking out some of the outfits. Can you use Windows magnifier so I can see this a little bit clearly because it's kind of small? So here we've got him. He's a little bit pixelated now because he's very tiny, but check out the tops here. It's a nice top. Warlock, meshed. I think I've used this one before. I kind of recognize it. Longstrider, Ranger gear. Fair skin, myth. This one looks pretty good. You can see the arms quite well on this one. You actually do have some muscle from the side perspective. They look a little bit skinny on the front perspective, but from the side, they actually look quite muscular. I like the details in the neck muscles too. There's a bit of detail there. And yeah, the body does look quite muscular. We can find one that is open in the middle maybe, then we could see it more. Oh, this is a classic plain one. Yeah, it's curious how skinny the arms look from the front at certain angles. Quick button, jacket, shirt. These are pretty classic ones. So they've got a few of the old styles, but they've massively cut down as well, it seems like. Here you can see there is actually muscle in there. It is pretty toned. If we go into the legs then. Herbalist, huntsman. We'll get a closer look at all these outfits combined when we look at the characters around the center as well. These ones look quite cool. Slayer steel caps. Summoner's bearskin, thief. I think I've used that one before too. Plain trousers. You can see the classic inspiration of these, but they've still updated them a little bit with the bottoms here. Shorts. Show off those leg muscles. Flares. Torn trousers, turn-ups, stripy ones. If we go into appearances, there's the hairstyles. This, I believe, is the chat head. Now, from what I've understood, the chat head when talking to characters is bugged at the moment. This is how it actually is supposed to look like. The camera perspective is doing something strange with the chat head version, so this is what it will look like when it's done. So if you've seen the chat head down there and you don't like it, it's not correct at the moment. This is the correct one. So let's start with bald. We'll have a look at the hairstyles close up like this in the chat head version, and then we can go over to the actual model afterwards. Ooh, there's a luscious locks in this one. Medium hair. Monk, you want that balding look. Here you've got short hair. I like the attention to detail in the stripes on this. Close cropped. I think I've used this hairstyle before. Wild spikes. Whoa, those are wild. Those are very wild. Normal spikes. Yeah, this one's a little bit more under control. Mohawk. Wind braids. Not sure how I feel about his mouth being open. I don't like seeing his teeth. No quiff. Feels kind of tall, doesn't it? Like it should be a little bit further down, maybe? I don't know. Samurai. That one looks pretty good. Prince. I do generally like the detail in all of them, though. Curtains. Long curtains. A little bit ruffled. Side part spiky. This one looks pretty good. Top knot. Pony spike. Long swept fringe. Oh yeah, for that goth look. Heaven style. For your curtains. Comb over. Warrior. There's some good options here, I would say. Ducktail. Got a mullet going. Mohawk shaved. Punk. Samurai variant. And then we're over into mustaches. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's the end of the hairstyles. And then we've also got beards. Got mustache. Handlebar, a little bit longer mustache. Sensei. Half goatee. Imperial. A full goatee. Short beard. Short full beard. Full mutton. I do like how detailed the beards are. I think the beards look a lot better now than they did before. Here there's a bit of a split there. Long beard. Waxed beard. Sideburns. Yeah, so some of the beards are connected to the hair, but some are not. Muttons. A full mustache. Vizier. Split beard. Viking look. And Dolly. Right, if we zoom out a little bit, this is what he will look like regularly. We start with dreadlocks. So this is generally the style you'll see running around. Long hair. Locks, long hair. Medium hair. Monk hair. Short hair. Close cropped hair. Wild spikes. Spikes. Mohawk. Wind braids. Quiff. Samurai. Prince. Curtains. Curtains long. Side spike. Top knot. Ponytail spiked. Long swept fringe. Heaven style. Warrior curtains. Comb over. Warrior. Ducktail. Mullet. Mohawk. Punk and samurai variant. And then for the beards, you've got clean shaven, and you've got the different ones here. Sensei, half goatee, imperial, goatee, short beard. If you want to see this without all the pixelation, then I would suggest going in game yourself and checking it out. Like I say, though, the beards look really good, I think. Waxed sideburns, mutton, and the final ones. There we go. Right, so here new Rainy is. Looks like he's ready to go into a 70s movie and break some hearts. Maybe an 80s movie. Gonna have a quick walk around here and have a look at some of the outfits too. You're not supposed to be one of the people. Yeah, we'll have a walk around here. We can have a look at the different outfits. Some of the different hairstyles too. They've sort of tried to split them out and demonstrate a lot of the new ones. And get a pretty close look at the comparison between male and female outfits too by doing that. Try to avoid some of the boxes everywhere. Oh yeah, rock on. Here are some of the older looking outfits. They've generally kept the style of the older outfit. You can see these ones are the older styles, but they've sort of updated them for the new look. These two are not happy. Okay, that's a full lap. Unfortunately, like they said, a lot of the outfits, like you can see here, the older ones are still using the old style of skin, so you don't get the full effect. As you can see, the arms here are the old ones. This person here is using new outfits, I believe. This one looks relatively new, but it is also old. You can see from the janky legs, but the face is new. There's some weirdness going on with the mouth, as you can see. Yeah, we got some stretching issues here. A lot of Brainy's look, you can see he's still got the old skin on his arms as well. So it doesn't really represent the new outfit other than the face itself. I almost feel like the chin is too defined. He's got very distinctive cheeks. Saying that, this is all nitpicking. I think this is so much better than what is in game at the moment. But yeah, he has very defined cheeks. Right, let's have a check at the female avatar. Gonna be honest, I already prefer this. I like the face a lot more than the male face. It looks less malnourished. I think that's what I'm gonna go for with the male one. Without a beard, the males look kind of malnourished. Very defined cheekbones. I think the female looks far, far better in that regard. Quickly go through the tops here just to have a look and see. Generally, the style should be the same, right? Oh, there is a little bit of weird clipping going on with this one. Plain top. All right, there you got some new belly button. All right, and then the legs. Cycle through these. Oh, something happened with that one. What's going on with tethered buckskins? And here we got the plain ones. These look like yoga pants now. They're very tight. Turns up shorts, long skirt. Yeah, what's going on with these? I need to have a look at that. Oh. oh no. Oh no, what's going on? My legs. I can't feel my legs. But it's even worse if you start running. Yep, boing, 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 boing. All right, here you got the female. I think this one looks really good overall. I prefer the face on this one. I prefer the body on this one. I like all of the things. I have no complaints on this one, actually. We should check out the hairstyles, too. So this is what the chat head is going to look like. It looks... Okay, so this one looks a little bit... Does it look really long to anyone else? Like, the nose seems very long. And the mouth looks incredibly large. The silhouette here seems good, but like from the side here in the front, I'm a little bit unsure about this one. So I like the model when you see all of it, but I'm a bit unsure about the chat head. If we go through the hairstyles, there's no facial hair for females. We've got bald. Here we've got bun. Long hair, that one looks really nice. Short hair. Crew cut. Close cropped. Wild spikes. Whoa. Also, why'd it turn brown? Oh, this one doesn't seem to work with colors. I think this one's probably bugged. Full model does work with colors, but the chat head does not work with colors. That's definitely a bug. Curls. Oh, I really like this one. Wind braids looks nice. Ring braids. Layered flip. Straight hair looks good. Long braids. Curtains. Earmuffs. Fringe. And pinned up. Layered. In bun. Ponytail spiked. Udango. Bun with fringe. That one's quite tall. Pigtails with fringe. A lot of them do seem quite similar to before. Princess. 2 buns and fringe. Oh, that one's not animated. You can tell that she just lost all personality in her face. Yeah, this one, her eyes are still moving here a little bit. This one, nobody's home. Short hair with fringe. Long hair with fringe. Page boy. Half up, half down. Alice band. Side part long. And that is all of them. We'll have a look at them in this full model too. Bald dreadlock long. We'll just like kind of go through them quickly. Again, like I say, jump in game if you want to see a better close-up of these. There's no good way for me to do this fast and also show them clearly. Wind braids, ring braids, layered flip, straight hair. I do think that the straight hair looks quite nice. Long braids. Maybe a lot of forehead in some of them, but yeah, that's a preference thing. Fringe pinup, layered. Top knot, pin bun, like ponytail, dango, a bun with fringe, pigtails with fringe, twist, princess, 2 buns and fringe, short hair with fringe, long hair with fringe. Page boy, half up, half down. Alice band and side part long. Right, they didn't place down a shoe changer anywhere. Yeah, his cheeks are too flat in my opinion. He looks kind of undead. It could be the skin color doing it, but I just feel like it's a little bit too V-shaped. It needs a little bit more chub, I think. Over in Relica, there's a shoe store. You can get loafers, and they have updated these as well. I like the loafers, actually. Cow skin, slippers, butterfly mucklucks, tripod boots, mage boots, warlock boots, pegged shoes, monk shoes, puffed brogues, tethered boots, beastmaster boots, steel-toed mucklucks, Opertinger boots, Kebbit pumps, hand tobbles, basic boots, and plain boots. I do like what they've done with the boots. They look more rounded now. I think I'm gonna go with loafers. Yeah, I like how much more detail there is in the shoes now. It does seem like they've managed to transition a lot of the emotes well into the new avatar as well, though I will say the mouth is all over the place at the moment. It's very big, and for some reason, there's no teeth when he opens his mouth, even though there's teeth in other places. That's a little bit off-putting. He does have a tendency of staring very aggressively too. Can you see that? I jumped on a little bit earlier too, so here are some outfit highlights, just scrolling past, seeing some interesting combinations of outfits. It's a shame that the older outfits don't work with the new body yet. Let me know what you think of the new player avatar in the comments below. Overall, I'm quite happy with it. I'd say there's small tweaks and stuff I would like to change. I'm a little bit unsure about the player's mouth at the moment. I don't know if it feels too big. The eyes also don't sparkle as much as I would like them to. I think there are big improvements to both male and female, though I am very happy overall with the new model. Got a 93% upvote on the player avatar beta. Not sure if it's just me, but the male chat head looks cross-eyed. Does a bit, yeah. It happens at very specific angles. If you look at it straight on, it doesn't look cross-eyed. A lot of hairstyles don't feel very natural. It feels like I'm wearing a wig. I'd say the hairstyles are quite large. But are they larger than they were before? Did they maybe look like wigs before too? If the scaling and size is the same as before. Hair and facial hair don't quite connect. Yeah, there's a little bit there. It's a new trend. There's a posture check for males. Probably the weirdness in that knees go backwards rather than the feet going straight down. I'd say that's probably more to do with the skeleton of the RuneScape character itself, and possibly connected to walk animations as well and idle animations. Here's a before and after of the old to new change. Not sure why this top bit is blue though, but apparently this is supposed to be gray, but it looks more blue. Spooky blindfold is clipping through cheekbones. Oh, that's not good. A lot of people are saying they wanted to see their premium hairstyles that you can have multiple colors in, and none of those are in the beta. But they're saying that they're working on it. Other people are jumping to the conclusion that they're deleting all the hairstyles that are not in the beta. I don't think that's the case. It seems like they just weren't ready for the beta. A thing for me that you can kind of see in this one is that it feels like their mouth is always slightly open, so it's like you're a mouth breather now, and I don't know how I feel about that. I want his mouth to be shut, you know? I don't walk around like this. Got a new style. I will say that I actually really like all the beards. The beards match really well with the hair. And like overall, I am a fan of the changes too. This guy's really skinny though. In some cases, I actually like the beard ones more than the clean shaven ones. I think it's, yeah, something to do with the jaw. Here's a comparison of wild spikes before and after. I'd say that the new ones are much more wild. Please consider this female avatar model. This is the golden standard right here. Party hats seem to be clipping in the chat head. Cloudy loves their character. That's a really nice style, yeah. At one point I preferred the male overall, but I think I'm leaning more towards the female overall now. Wish we could have more faded haircuts and smaller foreheads, much like these ones. This hairstyle makes my head look like a square. I mean, I can kind of see what they mean. Nose looks very bulky when viewed head on. Will say I'm not a fan. Keanu Reeves sitting on a bench, looking like a mouth breather, like I said, with his mouth slightly open. Why are you punching holes in the porch with your feet? Oh yeah, you can sit down. The Avatar Beta has many glitches and flaws, but this actually looks pretty good in their opinion. And yeah, I think it looks good too. There's of course things you can do to make it more customizable to your own liking, but as a base overall, I think it looks really good and a big step up from previously. Very glad they're investing time into this update. Much better than the previous preview they gave. Way better than the current live game Skull. Infinitely better than in-game. Something about the body proportions feels off. Legs are boiled spaghetti and feet size of a person 3 times the size. Yeah, I think that's the angle though. It's because the camera's tilted slightly upwards. It's not straight on, it's like slightly up like that. This one's scary though, I don't like this. Mod Mohawk has said this is due to perspective of the head model and the interface, and they're currently fixing it as they speak. This is specifically the chat head, not the model that you see in game as well. Basically saying they need to apply the fix that they're making to all interfaces for the chat head model, and say that currently it's basically making the center of the face appear a lot bigger than it is. The appearance tab in the wardrobe already has the fix applied, so I guess if you jump on in and you check out your face in the wardrobe interface, you'll see what it actually is supposed to look like. It is very important that if you have opinions on this, that you share it so that they can sort of mold the update more towards what the players overall want to see from it. Since this will affect all player characters going forward, it's crucial that you share your thoughts and opinions on this. Otherwise, you don't want your character to get stuck looking like something you don't want it to look like. Here are some great comparisons of the old styles on the bottom and the new styles on the top. Though the top model is using the old body, that's why there's a very rough color cut between the neck and the torso. If they were using the new body, there would be no cut there, it would be the same color. But yeah, this is a good view of the hairstyle and face changes. Here we also have some male before and afters. You can see how much more detail there is in the hair now and the beard. So much more defined. You even have shadow on the necklace for the base outfit. The shoulder pads actually lift out of the shirt a bit more. They're very flat in the previous. You can just see how much more detail there is in the shirt from the side angle too. From side point of view, it does look like he's slouching a little bit more. Could be just because of the walk animation that's active though. But yeah, wow, big improvements. The male chatted has an underbite. The jaw needs to be brought forward slightly. What's going on here? Shalorp. When in the player avatar beta, every time the player drinks hot chocolate during the rest animation for doing so, they gain this ridiculous overbite. Way too goofy. It's cursed and I like it. Some say the memories are closely tied to smell. I can definitely smell the nostalgia. His nose is poking out. Let me know what you think of the patches this week as well as the player avatar rework. Make sure to jump in game and try out the beta for yourself. It's live for 1 week until May the 12th. Please drop a like and subscribe.